Yo, welcome back for another video. And this is finding your hook. This is almost like, think of it as this. I don't know if you've done music. Finding your hook is important because it's going to be like the juice, like the meat of your project. It's going to draw people. It's going to be your niche. It's going to be the thing that I think is going to grab people and then pull them in, and you're going to be able to use as a marketing key. Okay? So for us, in the beginning, the first thing we did was a slasher called House Guest Massacre. And there was really no hook. But the hook was we got a child star in it, Alex Vincent, from the Chucky movies and Child's Play. He was a child star. So we kind of had that going in, and we always kind of understood this. We knew we could use that and be like, yeah, we'll use that to sell DVDs. You know, he goes to these Comic-Cons and conventions, and we could sell them there. And then I think Amazon has just started to come out. We thought we'd be able to get a deal. We ended up really didn't getting a deal. We had a couple offers, but it just didn't roll right. So it's finding your hook. Like with that was having a name attached, like a little name for a slasher type movie that was the niche that he was already in. And using that, right? Another way of a hook would be we did a TV show called Haunted Tours. Haunted Tours, the name alone kind of gives you, right? Like Haunted Tours. When I tell people the name of the show, they're like, oh, I think I saw that. Or, oh yeah, that. Because there's this nostalgia with haunted and then tours, they think Haunted Tours. So we did a paranormal investigation show of 6 episodes, which you can find on Prime, that did really well for us on the aspect of getting attention. Granted, we had a niche market to go after, paranormal fans. And we knew people in that slasher and horror space that we connected with on Facebook that we could use and then use to push out and work together on. And then we also knew that we were going to do nice marketing with it, where Jake did in marketing that it was an extreme paranormal show. People were just captivated by it. It's so funny. I remember a story. So people would write stuff about it. It was I consider it like Trump. You either love it or hate it, right? Because you had Steven, who was super extreme, fucking nutcase. And then you had Victoria, who came off as kind of ditzy, girl next door, really never investigated, really didn't take it serious, which that's what I wanted for that aspect. And it really pissed people off. Like, it really made people mad. You got this guy doing extreme stuff, and then you got this girl that just doesn't give a shit, they felt, which really pissed them off. And people would watch from episode 1 all the way to the final episode and be like, I hated this show. I couldn't believe in the last episode where she wore a Trump hat. It's like, what? I'm like, but you watched the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? So that's a hook. That it's finding the meat of what you got. Now yours may be completely something different. Maybe it's a political documentary. Maybe it's something about real estate. So how do you attack that niche, right? Is it a real estate documentary? Okay, you know where to go with that. Is it a social media thing? Everybody's on social media. It's finding the meat within your project that people are going to be able to attach to, right? Using that. Now, like I said, you can use that with the name. You can get name talent. Like in Mind Games, we had a couple hooks. We had a couple names, Robert Lizardo and Michael Pere. And it was also a psychological horror thriller type movie where there's blood and there's that horror market we can tap into. And it's also got some military aspects. So we have a couple different hooks to play off of. So when you're doing a project, find your hook within it, dissect it, sit back, say, do I even have a hook in this? Because that's why dramas can be tough at certain points. You need some names attached to it because a lot of them don't have hooks. But if you can find that hook, maybe it's about the drug addicts or the pill market, little things like that you can kind of get some juice behind, and finding that as a marketing aspect, marketing scheme within your movie. Like Robert Rodriguez had that he did it on $7,000, his first feature, and then he sold his I think he was selling his blood to science or something, plasma or something that he did. I don't know the whole story, so don't quote me on it. But he used that as a marketing hook to sell the movie that people could latch on to. You got to have something that sticks to the ribs, you know? It's almost like, what boxers do you remember? Do you know offhand? Muhammad Ali, I'm the greatest. Like he had a charisma. Mike Tyson, what is he known as though? He's known as the lunatic. So it's having that hook that's gonna push past all the other bullshit in the market that doesn't have hooks, that are just a plain movie. Like Terror Talk, a movie we did, no hook in it. There was no hook. There's nothing for people to grasp onto. Cool movie. We had a great time filming it. Loved filming it. But there was no hook. So really sit down, find your hook within it, whether that's getting Tom Cruise attached, or like we did with Haunted Tours, or Share Your Scare, another one. I'm sure we did Share Your Scare. The title gets you. Ouija boards. Like those are little things you can play off of to really market and find your niche audience. Is it a food documentary? Is it like Plant Pure Nation? If you look into some of this stuff, are you able to tap into a certain market? Health food people that are healthy eating, that eat just only plant-based diets. Like these are things you really want to look at and try to tap into. So sit down, dissect it, and find your hook.